Hi there, this is Sifu Slim, and I'm coming to you live from South Florida. And it's a lovely day in January, and it's so nice to be here with the breeze and outdoors, seeing the color green, being in an area where it's not too humid right now. It's probably 25% humidity, and it's just lovely. Temperature is about 78 degrees, and just really enjoying the winter here. It's 20 degrees up in New Jersey right now. So I'm going to talk to you for a minute about inflammation, which is a localized protective response elicited by injury or destruction of tissues, which serves to destroy, dilute, or wall off both the injurious agent and the injured tissue. The adjective is inflammatory. Further on, in medical dictionary at thefreedictionary.com, it talks about the inflammatory response, which can be provoked by physical, chemical, and biological agents, including mechanical trauma, exposure to excessive amounts of sunlight, X-rays and radioactive materials, corrosive chemicals, extremes of heat and cold, or by infectious agents such as bacteria, viruses, and other pathogenic microorganisms. All these infectious agents can produce inflammation. Infection and inflammation are not synonymous. Heat, redness, swelling, pain, loss of function. These are manifestations of the physiological changes that occur during the inflammatory process. The three major components of this process are changes in the caliber of blood vessels and the rate of blood flow through them. Hemodynamic changes, those are called. Increased capillary permeability and leukocytic exudation. So it's a situation that people today are exceptionally concerned with in this modern era. We have lots of inflammatory problems with living. You could say that the planet's inflamed based on our interaction with it, and it's not happy. But I'm going to share with you today some of the things you can do right now to help yourself. And I'm going to start with physical activity. So physical activity, here's the goggles. I prefer to use the wide goggles because they produce less inflammation. This produces rings around the eyes. So my goggles are being shipped here from California as I speak. Physical activity, tremendous. Play some tennis, do some fitness, do some walking and hiking. Getting a massage, if you're someone who abhors physical activity, is a wonderful thing to do. Working, like this gentleman who just drove by with a cart filled with sand. He's going to go sand the greens, which gives them more permeability for the water. And that's what they do on the golf course to keep the ground absorbing and allowing water to pass through. So physical activity, number one on the list. Something else that's incredibly important is sleep. I'm going to show you some sleep aids. So melatonin, which I only use when I feel that I'm kind of highly intense or wired. Yesterday, had a phone conversation with a friend I hadn't spoken to in several years, and the news and the sharing kind of amped up my system. So I felt some pain for this person who's going through some mental trauma, you could say, at this time. And so I'm being a very empathetic and feeling person, highly sensitive disposition. You can look up HSP on the internet, and then you'll find some some terms that fit with my personality. Lots of people in the healing and wellness field have that HSP disposition. So I felt going into it that, hey, I'm wired up, and I've been working all day and done a few hours of fitness and did stretching, did foam rolling, but I could feel it at that time. Last night, I could feel that I was amped up. And so what I did is I took some of this melatonin from Natrol. I don't know how good this company is, so I'm not recommending this company specifically, but it says fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, 100% drug-free, and it is 3 milligrams of melatonin per serving. So I took one of those. Let's see, they've got a lot of other ingredients in here. Some of them I would think that you probably don't need to put in these things if you're going to consume this relatively quickly. But you have to do your due diligence when you're taking things. Another sleep aid are tennis balls. So you can do rolling on tennis balls or foam rollers. That takes your fascia and makes your fascia more functional. And it relieves trigger points in the myofascial tissue of your body and your muscles, and gets the blood flowing and breaks up areas of tension. So I sleep on tennis balls. A person named Greg Johnson, who's considered one of the top physical therapists in the United States. Last time I knew, he was in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. I had the good experience to have spent several appointments with him in 2003, and I was very fortunate that he shared the idea of sleeping on tennis balls with me. So I sleep 2 on each side of the spine in the lower curve lumbar area of the back, and above the sacrum. And so that's where these go on each side. I don't use very hard balls. I use balls that have been used. You can find them at the tennis courts. They throw them out, and you'll find tennis balls around. So those, I go 2 on each side of the spine, and on the right side of the hip, 2 more, not under, but on the side, kind of wedged in a little bit on the side, and on the left side. There's 8 tennis balls, and that's what I require to keep the arch in my body, in the lower back, and to get acupressure and stability throughout the time that they're part of me. And then another sleep aid is this. And so when you sleep, you don't want to be using a big pillow that pushes you forward. Now, people have acid reflux and other reasons to keep their upper body up, their head up. You want to do that as much as you can with pillows that go on an angle. So like a wedge pillow leading up to some pillows that provide support, so you're on an angle. Even better, of course, would be a bed, like a hospital bed where you can angle it, or a therapeutic bed where you can angle it. Floor is actually much better to sleep on. When you sleep on hard, your body softens. When you sleep on soft, your body hardens. Japanese knew this, the hunter-gatherers knew this. You don't want a mushy bed. But if you're someone who feels the pee through the various layers of bedding, do what you have to do. But I'm going to share with you the physiological and postural reasons for sleeping on hard. So this is wonderful, these types of airplane pillows, because what you want is, like a dentist chair, you want the pressure and the support here in the occiput, these points. If you have points at the base where your neck meets your occipital area, you want to, the base of your cranium, you want to have pressure there. You don't want to have pressure forward. You want to have pressure here and support on your neck, so that your neck is more in this position and open. You don't want to be in this crunched down vocal cords and less blood flow, etc. You don't want to be in that position when you're sleeping. And, even someone like me who thinks he does things as well and physiologically correct and healthfully minded as possible, I even sometimes wake up with a kink in my neck because maybe I gone to sleep with some pre-existing conditions or an inflammatory diet or stress before I went to sleep or during sleep, and I maybe kinked over just a little bit to one side, I can get up and I'll, have a lot of tension that may last for a day or two in that neck. So it's good to release that tension and do a low inflammatory diet whenever possible. I'll take you through some anti-inflammatory things that are really helpful. This is a circulation and heat product, Tiger Balm. There are other products on the market. This one, as far as I know, is all natural. Eucalyptus oil, catchwood oil, and a few other products. Really cool stuff. Love Tiger Balm. And here's Muscle Freeze by Mary's Medicinals, and they have hemp-based products and they have cannabis-based products. This one is a cannabis-based product that I picked up in Colorado, and it says provides cold, so cooling action. And I've used this, and it's really helped. Helped my thigh muscles heal from skiing, and keeps that circulation going and reduces inflammation. So you make up your minds on what you want to do with hemp and cannabis. Hemp, no problem. Cannabis, some states haven't allowed it yet, so you do your own due diligence on that. Now, anti-inflammatory, so good food, high fat food, like good healthy fat, healthful fat, like avocados, really good. Water, which I'm going to take right now. Stay hydrated and drink water out of a glass. And if you're area where you've got to get chlorine off, leave this open for 2 days, and the chlorine will have off-gassed. So tremendous. And that's something we all need to do. Like some of us were hanging out on computers. So in that computer position, definitely a situation where you're not getting as much circulation as you want. And, your book readers. Lance Armstrong's War, what a tremendous book by Daniel Coyle, who in 2005 followed Lance's team, U.S. Postal, to a number of their competitions and training events, and wrote an incredible book about the inside story of, while there was doping scandals, this is before, of course, Lance came out and came clean about the doping that was prevalent in his life, his team's life, and that was prevalent in the cycling community. There's our man Lance right there in 2005. And there's Tyler Hamilton, who wrote an incredible book about his time with Lance Armstrong and his life before and after that. Really like Lance Armstrong. And I'm sorry, I really like Tyler Hamilton. So there you have it.